of the hour, no checks.
First, say thank you for everybody coming. Thank you for coming here. You know, it's better to give than receive. This first prize goes to my brother Rob. So, now if he's gonna play, he ain't heavy, he's my brother. So, but Rob's been there, he said some nice things this afternoon. So I know you're a big guitar player, and I know you'll enjoy your strawberry tequila that we got on a cruise ship. So enjoy, thanks, I love you.
Thanks a lot.
Most of the time I love you.
On behalf of all the fat jokes I've taken over the last 70 years, and I've only been around for 60 of them, but I'll enjoy this bottle with every shot I take. I'll thank Uncle Buck for all the great times we've had and all the great memories we'll always have.
There you go. Thank you. Next, the regifting begins. I said no gifts, so this one goes to a great Jaju. He plays with his kids, but he plays his favorite sport, hockey. My favorite sport was baseball, so here's his, and Tasha's gonna have to play, but batting practice, wiffle ball. So,
Well, you know who immediately took a hand to this was Bryce. Where is Bryce? He was sitting on the bar and he grabbed this thing and he started saying, I want it. Keep this for Brycey and Logan.
the next, you know, is Veet. So I always enjoy Veet's videos and Betty's videos on Chez's videos because he loves the shirts that I get him, hand down. So this is the beginning of more shirts. So this is a recent Third and Long golf vest. Pretty cool, white logo on the back. We got the local red shirt.
Red and white.
So yeah, Polish colors, Vinny. So you're all set with anything red. So that's good. So that's the beginning of it. So there's, I expect to see many pictures of you and Betty with that in it. So I'm like, oh, there's Betty and V with a selfie. Oh, that's the shirt I gave him. Oh, okay. And because he's such a military guy and a historical guy, so Katie's dad, Mitch, gave me this book. I read it. It's all about places that he's been. It's about the counterfeit countess. She saved and rescued thousands of Polish people during all of that war story. So all of the starvation and Auschwitz and all of those things. I got it. It was a little painful reading through it. But so I pass it on to you and Rob, because I know you like to read about history. And so you're all there. And we're going to Poland in September. So that's another one. Another one. Hey, we got another shirt for you. I know you need shirts. You don't buy stuff for yourself, so here's another one. Oh, here's one too. Here's a best one. This is a Buffalo Bills shirt.
What size?
3XL. It's a XL Bills one. You're
Let's
set.
see the Bills shirt.
Yeah, bring it out. Bring it out.
Looks like a nice little button.
It looks like a freaking.
And
Oh, dude, that's
Oh, that
nice.
is badass.
That is sweet. That looks silky and everything.
Home opener this year.
Yeah.
who is going to take us up on the Uncle Buck Sports Bills Challenge to go to a Bills backers bar somewhere in the next couple of years, party, and we'll buy you dinner and drinks. Me and Randall and Bo did that in Milwaukee, and it was a total riot, right? Especially if the Bills win. We continue to invite everybody to the Bills backers. In fact, Randall's got a job in the making, potentially, to go to Seattle to the Bills backers over there. Randy's got all the intelligence. He's laid it out. He's got an operations order. It's in execution planning stage right now, but we'll see what happens.
You like Vito's presentation? I had nothing to do with it, but I know he's humorous. He's good at it. He brings in stuff. I'll watch those videos 2 or 3 times. So let's hear it for Vito for putting together. Hey, but you know, all right. Final presentation for me. is Clara. Clara, come on up. You got a present for your grandma. Mother's Day.
What is it? Did you design it?
But this was Joanne's favorite picture that she did. So she loved the little birdie. She freehands it. She's a crafty color artist. So let's hear it for Clara.
Still got an open mic, so this is open all night. I'm gonna keep this live.
A few more things.
But let's bring Josie up.
These are some of Dad's favorite phrases targeted towards his kids as we grew up. And a lot of times, these were delivered with a certain face. You would first start to see this Bochez face, and then it would come back with something, and you could tell he was kind of flustered, but he, scrunches his eyes like this. He's kind of looking at you all funny. And we would do stuff as kids that he would be like, I don't know why you're doing that, but he'd go, you gotta take some initiative here. And then there were other times where he'd be out doing landscaping with my mom, and one of us would be sleeping in, and then all of a sudden, the door would kick in. There's 4 digits on the clock, just unacceptable late sleeping in. And it's, hey, you're sleeping your life away. Get up. And then other times we would, be jamming out some hip hop music, or Donnie be listening to Notorious B.I.G. or something that he wasn't jiving with because it wasn't like CCR and Otis Redding. And he'd go, man, you can't spell crap without rap. And we'd listen to that and go, all right, turn it down. And then just be, clicking the tongue, shaking the head, like these kids of today. So maybe you've seen some of these.
Grandkids.
Yeah. And then I'll finish with this, because this is one of my most memorable stories of when my dad, I felt like, was just trying to help me become a better athlete. It turned into intense anger and then like a teaching moment. I remember him one time taking it upon himself in the backyard where we were doing live pitching with actual baseballs. We had a sizable yard, and he's throwing me these balls, and he's got a big bucket of them, and I'm just hitting them out into the field, into some of our neighbors' yards, the end of our yards. And he throws this one, and I just barrel it up, and it comes right back and just tees him up in his ding-dong. Boom, he's hunched over like this, and just like, and he's like, why do you hit the ball like that in the games? Great hit though. And then he's like, you really squared that up well, and maybe you just got to put the barrel on the ball like that. And so he's, just hunched over. And so that memory I'll never forget, of where he was so pissed off to get just nailed in the nuts with the ball, but he was proud that I squared the ball up.
Uncle Buck, you know that whenever he's eating something either finds its way to be dried up along his face or on his shirt.
Oh, yeah.
And so this is kind of a classic one. And we were home over Christmas break, and everybody talks about the way that Uncle Buck sends out postcards, and he's coined them boast cards, right? But there was one time he left one of these cards out on the countertop, and me, Nick, and Joe were back home after a heavy night of drinking adult beverages, probably getting overserved wherever we were, but we were back there. We were eating some chicken wings, and we had all the buffalo sauce on the fingers. And so Joe got this great idea, because it was 1 a.m, that he was going to put his fingerprints in the buffalo sauce all over the postcard. And he was, we were laughing because he's like, Dad signs all these cards. I'm surprised there's not a mustard stain on one of these cards or whatever. And so he's like, whoever this is addressed to, they're gonna get this postcard with chicken wing sauce all over it. So the whole card was covered in chicken wing sauce, and Joe didn't want to leave it on the countertop for them to figure it out. So at 1 a.m, he walked up to the mailbox, that was a community mailbox, and just mailed it in there. And so whoever got this card got this nice note from my dad with all this chicken wing sauce all over it. And we never ever heard it. You know, if someone returned it back, said, "Hey, did you mean to get all this over it?" Hopefully whoever got that card really appreciated it, because it came with a lot of love.
A story like that, so you go back a generation. Veet and Rob, I was upstairs, and Veet probably could tell it because he was probably behind it. He's an instigator, kind of like Joe is an instigator. And I was going to sit down at my desk, and Veet pulled out the chair from behind me, and I was upstairs, and I fell backwards. And those two guys hightailed it. We were on the 3rd floor. They hightailed it, and I was screaming and yelling at them, "I'm gonna kill you, you son of a bitch!" You know, and they're running as fast as they can down there, and they locked themselves in the bathroom. You know, the downstairs bathroom that you remodeled. They lock it, and I'm trying to open that door, and I'm screaming at them, and they're both inside. I don't know how old they were, 15, 13, whatever, but, you know, I'll never forget that one.
Take it easy, Nick. Slow down.
One was actually when Lish and Lindsay were visiting in Kansas City, and we went to the brewery. We're going on a tour, and we get out of the car. We're like walking through like this mulched area where there's like bushes, and like all 3 of us are walking, and all of a sudden I hear this like stick cracking, like, and then he's like, "Oh!" And like we realized that he had like fell down somehow, and Lish and Lindsay were just absolutely dying. And like immediately he gets pissed off and he's like, "Get over here, help me up." And I think there was a picture on the slide today.
Trying to take a picture,
Yeah.
I think. And he wanted to make it scenic or something, and then he went behind the bush and then like fell and couldn't get up.
He like found some electrical box that he like nudged up next to like prop himself up, and he's just like sitting there like this, like waiting for me to come get him. But
That picture was
to this
there
day,
today.
I've never seen Lindsay and Lish laugh so hard in my life.
When you fall down and you're young, everybody laughs like those guys. When you fall down when you're old, everybody comes to your rescue. Right? You okay? You okay? You all right?
Nobody
True story.
Yeah.
You were right in the middle.
I fell at
Austin's game.
Austin's soccer game. I was getting up from the chair. I put too much weight on the left hand, and I toppled over. And everybody was on me. And even all I remember is Mason, who's 9 years old, look at me and go, "You okay, Jaju? You okay? You all right?" You know, and I'm like, it was funny. So, yeah, I'm okay. And everybody's asking me if I'm okay. But
Give us another one. You said you had 2.
Me? Oh.
that's right, Pizza Bill. Hold him accountable.
Yeah, I was trying to slip away.
I'm trying to follow your leadership.
The other one was, this was like right when we moved to Kansas City, and my dad was like a coach on one of the teams for summer ball, and I honestly can't remember like what happened, but me and him like got in a fight on the way to like practice before the game, and he was like upset, and he was like, we were doing like soft toss where you like throw the ball and like you're just a hitter, like just trying to get reps and like work on your swing and stuff. So like all these other kids go, and then I get in the box, and all of a sudden he just starts firing these things literally like as hard as he can. And I was just like kind of scared. I was like, holy shit. Like, and then I kind of caught on and I started hitting a few, and you started to even gear up even more. But I remember just like that just being funny to me.
Well, I got one here I got to tell you. We, you know, for years and years and years, we said, "Buck, we got to go to Woodstock." So the year after me, Betty, and Ingram went to Woodstock, we went to see Roger Daltrey do Tommy. So me and Buck went to see Peter Frampton at Woodstock. by ourselves. We got a bed and breakfast, nice bed and breakfast. Betty set us up. And so we're driving into the concert that night, and he had been doing a lot of power walking. So I'm thinking, okay, Bo's a good power walker. And he says, no, I don't want to walk from the parking lot to the Woodstock Festival. Give me a ride. So I call the security guy up, which I happen to know, and we got a golf cart, and got him a ride up to the festival. Then after the festival, we're walking back to the car because I couldn't get a ride. And we got to go over a 3-layer wooden fence. And I jump over the thing, no problem. And I just keep walking. And Bo's like, I turn around, and he's stuck. He can't get over this fence. And he's yelling, and I can't hear him because I'm hard of hearing. So he said, come help me, come help me. And I never helped him out. Well, somehow we got over this fence without my help, and to this day, he's like, oh yeah, you wouldn't even help me over this fence at Woodstock. But yeah, he got over that fence.
Veet's known, he wants to do his own thing. I mean, and he had previous experience. He made Rob jump over one of the forts in Canada, and he went and left and went running. Rob fell over, broke his leg, and had to walk back to that. Rob won't forgive him for that. So, Clara, what do you got, Clara?
You ready, Clara?
Okay, go ahead. It's your turn.
Dodgers.
What?
The best grandpa ever.
Oh, that's nice.
And I enjoy hanging out with him and love you.
She loves to draw. She's a crafty person. She's an artist, and she's a good artist. I don't know, and she's a lefty. So I have a soft spot for lefties because Nick is a lefty.
It's in the Chiz family. Vito was a left-handed slapper.
Yeah, he
in
trained
back
all
in
my
the rink
kids
days.
to play hockey left-handed already.
There you go.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They're all left.
They're
yeah.
left.
They might even golf left right now, like the way they're swinging. It's like,
Expensive.
and I can't relate to them. I'm as right as.
Turn over to
Because
semi-retired Delta pilot Randall Zach, retired Colonel Air Force Randall Zach.
So, really enjoyed getting a lot closer to you these last few years with the coming down to Tampa for the Bills game and then dropping into Kansas City and doing that golf tournament, hanging out with you and Vito that day, and then Milwaukee was great. So look forward to many more adventures in the years ahead. Really hit by that dash poem of yours, and I thought, what can you give to the guy who has everything? So a small gift to help you as you're reflecting on your 7 decades. So I chose 7 beers, so each one you can kind of reflect on a different decade. So for the first decade, we'll say that's from when you were 10 to 20. We'll start you out with a Coors Light, because that's probably how you could have handled at that age. And then from 20 to 30, Pabst Blue Ribbon. We gained a new appreciation for that when we went to Milwaukee.
Pabst Mansion, yeah.
And then, so for their third decade, you were probably looking north of the border, so one of the Canadian beers. Molson Canadian for you.
Nice, one of my boys' favorites. It was good.
And then for the fourth decade, I figured I'd look in a different direction and go to one of my other favorite countries you've probably never been to, but this may be as close as you get, but it's a good beer, Singha from Thailand.
How did you get that?
They carry it. And then by the time, you got to your fifth decade, you were getting a little more refined, so probably a German beer. So I went with a Polaner. And then for the sixth decade, one of the beers that I really kind of gained an appreciation for later in life was Guinness. I don't know if you've ever been to Ireland, but You know, one of the things that's impressive, if you go to Ireland and you go to the Guinness Brewery, the guy who started that, he took out a 999-year lease on the land. Wow. So that's impressive. Somebody's got that much confidence in themselves.
I've heard once you drink Guinness there, you never want to drink it.
But anyway, so we got you a Guinness. And then the final beer, which I think is, I like Dos Equis. I always like those Dos Equis commercials. The most interesting man in the world. And several years ago, you know, my son was watching this with me, and you know, he pumped me up a little bit. He goes, "You know, Dad, that's all fake, but you're really the most interesting man in the world. You know, you've lived a much better life than he has." And I would argue that Bo also has lived. You know, he's in that category where he's one of the most interesting men in the world, and probably doesn't drink as much beer as he used to. But when you do, have a Dos Equis. Stay thirsty. And you know, he's got a lot of silly quotes. If you listen to those commercials, they stopped running them, you know, several years ago. But there was one quote, I was looking through this as I was thinking about this. I said, you know, this is something Bo could have said. So in one of those commercials, he goes, "You know, my friend,
find out what it is in life that you don't do well, and then don't do that thing."
Happy birthday. Chill it up and enjoy, my friend.
Yeah, it tastes almost like.
And my daughter, she sent me this this video when I turned 70. So I'm a little older than Bo, and she sent me this. This is kind of for you, Bo.
I wanna come home to roses and dirty little notes on post-its. And when my hair starts turning gray, I'll say I'm like a fine wine, better with age. I guess I learned it from my parents, that true love starts with friendship. A kiss on the forehead, a date night, fake an apology after a fight. I need a man who's patient and kind, gets out of the car and holds the door. I wanna slow dance in the living room like we're 18 and sing your prom and grow. Oh, with someone who makes me feel young. I need a man who loves me like my father loves my mom.
Your last comment was when you showed your sons how much you loved your mother. And I have told my kids and anybody that I meet, the best way that you can raise your kids is to love their mother. And you showed that today. Thank you.
Friends are the family you get to choose. And you're my family, and you're my friends. Thank you so much.